Good morning, one and all.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Madam, I think you can start your presentation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Myself, R. Devi from CSE department. So I'm working as assistant professor in Sri Sasa Institute of Engineering and Technology for the past 2 years. I have total of 10 years teaching experience. So today I've chosen the topic as one of the most recent emerging technology in the field of computer science. So hope the screen is visible to you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. So the topic is artificial intelligence, which is going to be the future of everything. And I would like to discuss about the applications of artificial intelligence. So these are the topics I wish to discuss in this session. So I'll start with the introduction part, like what are the challenges we are facing in today's world, and then we'll get into artificial intelligence, the basics of artificial intelligence, and I'll give some applications, as well as I'll give what is the difference between artificial intelligence as well as machine learning. So you call it as ML. So here it is represented as ML, which means machine learning. So actually, machine learning is also a subset of artificial intelligence. So I have to discuss about that topic also, that is machine learning. And then I'll discuss about what are the different types of machine learning algorithms that are available. And finally, I wish to give a demo session on how to use a machine learning algorithm. And the last thing is about AI and its applications. So let me start with what are the challenges of today's world. See, actually, we are living in a world where we are getting connected together by means of devices or by means of smartphones, right? Wherever we wish to capture information, we can make use of any kind of smart device or any kind of device to capture those information. So the information is available throughout the world. So whenever we want to capture information, it is possible to capture it with a device. So you call it as we are living in a instrumented world. And when once the information is getting captured, we can able to transmit that information from one end to the other end. So that happens with the help of the internet facility. So we call it as a world wide web, and we are living in a interconnected world. So we are living in both instrumented as well as interconnected world. And apart from both these terms, like instrumented as well as interconnected, we are also living in a world where we have intelligent information. Like we don't need any information that gets replicated, or we don't need any information like that is a fake content. So we need a intelligent information. So that is what the challenge we face today. So actually, you call it as three I's. Like first I stands for instrumented, and then the second I stands for interconnected, and the third I means intelligent. So this is what the basic concept of IoT. So IoT in the sense Internet of Technology. See, this is what the very first challenge, first and foremost challenge we are facing in today's digital world. And the second challenge is demanding citizens. As you could see in the slide, right, we need everything, like we need multiple tasks to be done within a fraction of second or within a single click. So that only we have smartphones in our hand and we are using that in order to complete all our tasks. So that is what the most challenging thing again. And the third challenge is like as we are living in a diverse and evolving as well as digital technology, we need lot. Sorry, we are facing lot of threats. So threats in the sense it may be virus, or it may be any kind of malwares, or it may be any kind of unwanted softwares. So we have to overcome all those threats. So why? Because we are dependent on digital technology, or we are dependent on internet. So we have to overcome all the threats that occur in our digital world. So according to a survey, it is reported like a new infection. So here infection stands for malware. So again, malware, what is a malware is? It is a kind of virus. So we all know like what is a virus. So virus is a program that destroys the content, and malware is a special kind of virus. So it will damage all the information from others' computer. So that is what treated as malware. So with the increase in the usage of digital technology, it is reported like a new malware infection occurs every 3 seconds. So this is what the strategy. So again, this is again a challenging thing in the today's digital world. So the next challenge is we human beings, we are ready to compete with machine. Like you could see in the slide, like a man is playing tennis. Okay, sorry, table tennis with a competent machine. So we wish to, as human beings, in this digital world, we wish to compete with missions. So the mission has to be more competent and it has to be more intelligent than the human being. And the last challenge we are facing is cybersecurity. Again, with the when the usage of digital technology increases, we are facing more number of threats, and we need a very stronger, secured algorithms. Why? Because the hackers are getting more intelligent. So if you want to safeguard our data, so we need a better algorithm, or we need a more efficient, secure algorithm. So that is what we need, a change in the cybersecurity. Again, this becomes a challenge. So in order to overcome all those challenges that we discussed so far, we need a additional intelligence, which is called as an artificial intelligence. So let me tell you about what is artificial intelligence. AI. AI stands for what? Artificial intelligence. So one thing I would like to say is the most intelligent entity, okay, the most intelligent entity in the entire world is human being and not machines. Okay, so but the computer scientists, what they're trying to do is they want to produce just like a human being. They want to produce machines just like human beings. The human beings are the most intelligent entity in the world, even though the scientists are trying to develop machines that should have the capability of a human being or a human brain. So that is what the field called artificial intelligence. So here the definition says like the study of the modeling of human mental functions by computer programs. So in simple, I would say like artificial intelligence is a discipline where we are trying to produce machines that should think and act just like a human being. So the human beings, we are having brain. So with the help of brain only, we are able to make decisions. We are able to think, and then only we will react according to the situations. But the machines do not have brain. So only when you feed something in the form of a program, like if you give some input, it will execute the program, and just like that, it will give the output. It cannot able to make decisions. So the the machines cannot make cannot make decisions just like a human being. So that is what the biggest challenge in the field called artificial intelligence. So AI, artificial intelligence, it is composed of two words. The first word stands for artificial, and the second thing is about intelligence. Anything which is not natural and created by humans is artificial. So that we have the term called artificial. So it is not going to be natural, just like a human brain. That is going to be created. Actually, that kind of intelligence is going to be created by the human being. So you call it as an artificial. The second term is intelligence. It means ability to understand, reason, plan, make decisions, etc. Okay. So that is what intelligence. So the normal definition for intelligence, that is whenever we have the ability to understand something, and whenever we have the ability to reason something and make decisions or plan, so you call it as intelligence. So any code, any technology, or any algorithm that enable the machine to mimic. Okay, so we are trying to mimic the human being. So mimic, to develop or demonstrate the human cognition or behavior, is artificial intelligence. So as an introduction part to the artificial intelligence, we have to know about what is an agent and what is an environment. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are developing agents. Okay, so when we are trying to implement the concept of artificial intelligence with the help of a program, you call it as an agent. We are developing an agent. So agent stands for a program. Okay, any program or any application that we are developing is termed as an agent. And here we have two main things. One is environment. The second thing is whatever we are developing. That is what we call it as an agent. So any agent should have two main things. That is, it should have sensors and it should have the effectors. So here in this slide, you could see sensors as well as effectors. So example for sensors, eyes. Okay, so when you consider human being as an agent, we have sensory organs like we have eyes, ears, nose. So those things are considered to be sensory organs. And our legs, hands, mouth. Okay, so all those things act as effectors. Okay, that is, we execute the actions with the help of effectors, and we perceive the environment or we see the environment with the help of our sensory organs. So just like that, we are going to develop any program. Okay, so that program is called as an agent, and that agent should have set of sensors, and the agent should have set of effectors. Okay, I'll tell you a very simple example. So consider a human being. We have sensory organs, as I told you, like eyes, ears, nose, etc. And the effectors are going to be hands, legs. Okay. For example, we are inside a room, and if suppose a snake enters inside a room. Okay, so the situation or the environment is like a snake suddenly enters inside a room. So what happens is we see or we look at the snake with the help of our sensory organ, which is eyes. Okay, so from the eyes, the signals are being sent to the brain. So the brain immediately it responds to the what it responds to the environment, like it responds to the snake. So it is a snake, so just run away or just scream. So the action may be different from one person to the other person. So some persons, they might when they are looking at a snake, they might scream with the help of mouth. Again, mouth becomes the effector. Or some persons, what they'll do, they'll try to run away from that place. So that again we are using the legs. So the legs are acting as a effector or the actuators. You call it as effectors or actuators. Okay, so this is how the human agent or the human being, we use the sensory organs to perceive the environment. You call that as perception. We see the environment, and immediately the signal is sent to the brain, and the brain activates. Okay, the brain tries to activate the actuators. Okay, the actuators may be different, or if you're going to scream, you're using the actuator mouth, or if you're going to run away, you're going to use actuator legs. Okay, so this is a way the human brain is modeled. So similarly, when you're trying to develop a AI program, or you call it as an agent, in that agent you should decide what are the sensors. Okay, what are the sensors we are going to use, and what are the effectors. So the sensors are meant for perceiving the environment, or for capturing the situation of the environment. We use the sensors, and according to the environment situation, you are taking some decisions, and that decisions are called as actions. The actions take place with the help of effectors. Okay, so this is the idea behind developing any AI program or AI agent. So again, this is what I told you earlier, like a human agent, we have sensory organs, eyes, ears, and other organs, and hands, legs, mouth act as effectors. The effectors are otherwise called as actuators. So consider a robotic agent. Okay, so consider a robotic agent. So in the robotic agent, we have cameras and infrared rangefinders. So both the things, like cameras as well as infrared rangefinders, they are going to act as a sensory organs. Like they will capture the situation, they'll capture the environment. After capturing the environment, depending upon the situation, it has to take some action. So that action takes place with the help of effectors. So effectors in robotic agent, they are motors. Okay, the motors are going to act as a effectors, and cameras are going to act as a sensors. Okay, so this is how we have to plan for the AI agent. So next is about structure of agents. A simple agent program can be defined mathematically as any agent function which maps every possible percept sequence. to a possible action the agent can perform. So it is very simple, like you have n number of perceptions. Okay, so the situations may differ, the environment might differ. So you have n number of, so this asterisk symbol stands for you have many number of situations. So according to the perceptions only, you have to what choose the action. So that is what given in the form of function. So it can be treated as a function that contains many number of perceptions, and accordingly, according to the number of perceptions or according to the perception type, you're going to choose the action. So this is what the structure of an agent. So again, the little bit coding, I want to give an example. So consider we are going to design a vacuum cleaner. Okay, so the vacuum cleaner is going to act as an agent. So I call it as a reflex agent. So I have named it as reflex vacuum agent, and I'm giving two input parameters. So you could see the two input parameters here for the vacuum cleaner, the location as well as the status. So the vacuum cleaner, we all know, like it is going to clean a place, clean any place if it is dirty. If it is not dirty, it is not going to clean. So it returns an action. If the status is going to be dirty, then returns suck. So suck in the sense it starts cleaning. Okay, it starts working, the vacuum cleaner agent. Again, depending on the location, it has to turn either to the left or to the right. So if we have a vacuum cleaner, accordingly, it has to turn by itself, either to the left or to the right, wherever the dirt is available. Okay, so wherever the dirt is available, depending on the location, it has to turn either to the left or to the right. Okay, so for that, we can develop like if status equal to dirty, then return suck. Else, if location is equal to A, depending on the location, you're turning either to the right or to the left. Okay, so this is a very simple example how to develop a AI based agent. So here I have some more examples. We call it as intelligent agents. Okay, so there are many types of agents. It may be a very simple agent or reflex agent or intelligent agents. So these are some examples for intelligent agents. So when we choose the medical diagnosis system, okay, so consider for the medical, for the healthcare purpose, medical diagnosis system, if we are going to develop a AI based program, so what are the perceptions we can choose is, so we need to find the symptoms. Okay, so we need to understand the symptoms of the patients. Okay, so you'll ask that is that system, it has to ask questions to the patients. Okay, and depending upon the patient's answers only, that system should take corresponding action. Okay, for that only what I've done is, so the perceptions, what are the possible perceptions for a medical diagnosis system? So the perceptions should be identifying the symptoms of the patients or asking questions to the patients. Accordingly, they will answer, and depending upon the answer of the patient only, I have to choose the action. And what is the goal of developing this agent is, we have to treat the patient successfully. Meanwhile, we have to minimize the cost also. Okay, so these are the goals of developing this agent, which is going to be an intelligent agent in a healthcare system, and the name of the agent is medical diagnosis system. Okay, so what are the actions depending upon the findings? You will like as a doctor will prescribe, right? If we are telling some symptoms to the doctor, accordingly he will say like you have to take ECG or you have to take blood test or whatever it may be. So similarly, we are developing an agent that should find out what are the responses from the patient side or what are the symptoms from the patient side, and accordingly it has to prescribe the treatments or it has to prescribe the test. Okay, if needed, again and again it has to ask some more questions if it is not sufficient. If the symptoms told by the patient is not sufficient, again it has to ask some questions, so that only we have questions here. Or otherwise it should prescribe the test, what are the tests the patient should take, like blood test or ECG or whatever it may be. Okay, and what is the environment? The environment is again a patient and the hospital. So this is how we can able to develop a AI based agent, which is going to be an intelligent agent. So not only in healthcare system, we can also use an refinery controller agent or English tutor. Okay, online interactive English tutor, where the perception is the user can type some words. Okay, so when the user type some words, the actions may be like it should provide the suggestions or it should provide corrections like that. And the main goal of having an online tutor, like interactive online English tutor, is they have to maximize the score of the students. Okay, the students are going to access the online tutor, interactive English tutor. So the set of students is going to be the environment. The goal is to maximize the student score. And the English tutor agent, it has to provide lot of exercises, suggestions as well as corrections based upon the student's activity. So what is the student's activity? The student might type some essay, or they might type some words. Okay, so this is how we have to uh, pre-plan, like whatever according to the agent we are going to develop, we have to prepare accordingly. What are the perceptions, what is the action, and what is the final goal of that agent, and what should be the environment. Next is about applications. So what are the possible applications of artificial intelligence? So the artificial intelligence discipline, it is not limited to a specific area. It is available everywhere. Like it is used in the healthcare, automobile industry, finance, then surveillance, social media, entertainment, education, space exploration, again gaming, robotics, agriculture, as well as e-commerce. So when you consider one of the application of AI in healthcare system is the AI technology is being used in the diagnosis of diseases. Okay, so the thing is like the patients, what they can do is they can answer to a specific set of questions, and the AI agent or the AI based application, what it will do is it will give you a report, like whether it is possible for you to get a heart disease later, like after the age of 50 or after the age of 45. So likewise, the AI agent plays an important role in healthcare domain, like identifying or diagnosis of diseases. And AI in education, so when you consider AI, the role of AI in education, so nowadays we have n number of apps are available, like Byju's, Vedantu, or we have brainly.com or thinkermath. Okay, so all those things, all those applications, they are using AI technology, where that application, they start uh, analyzing the students knowledge in a particular subject. So if a student is weak in a particular subject, so more and more number of exercises or more and more concentration will be given only to that subject. Okay, not like the physical mode of teaching, like we the professors, or we the teachers, we will give equal importance to all the students, and we'll give equal importance to all the subjects. So it is not like that. It is like uh, an intelligent system where the AI agent will try to help the students, or it will try to help the students learn better, and it will provide more unique information wherever they are weak. Okay, so in which subject they are weak, it will provide more concentration, and it will provide online mode of exercises like that. And even it will try to provide feedback immediately to the parents, like if they are listening or not. For example, if their camera is turned on, and if they are listening to the class, online class, depending upon the expressions, facial expressions, it will automatically analyze like whether the student is interested in that particular topic or not, or whether he can able to understand it or not, just by analyzing the facial expression, like you call it as a facial recognition technique. Okay, so that is what the role of AI in education. So here I've given an example, like what is the role of AI in McDonald's. So the famous burger company. So it has been reported like McDonald's, they are using the artificial intelligence technique in order to enhance the sale of burgers. Okay, so they can sell more fast food to customers when they started using the artificial intelligence concept. So how they are making use of artificial intelligence concept is that AI technology, it helps that application, or helps that app to identify what is the weather outside, and according to the weather situation, automatically the menu will be customized. Like when the weather outside is very hot, it will provide a lot of cold options like cold drinks. And if the weather is very cold outside, it has to provide a lot of hot drinks like tea, coffee, like that. Okay, so in that case, the McDonald's They are using the artificial intelligence technology, and in order to make recommendations in real time, so that the customer can get the customer can get what they want to order, and based on what they had already ordered. Like when we are using Zomato or Swiggy, we would have seen like so these are the things we have already or previously ordered. So this is what you call it as a recommendation, all recommendations provided by the artificial intelligence technology. Okay. So next we have increasing popularity for AI. Why? What is the reason for increasing popularity for AI is, so again, artificial intelligence, it is not a standalone technology. So again, artificial intelligence, you have several number of subset. So you call it as machine learning, and again you call it as subset, another subset, you call it as deep learning. Okay. So now I'll try to explain like what is artificial intelligence, how does it differ from machine learning. See, as I told you, that machine learning ML, so it is a subset of artificial intelligence. Again, you have another technology, you call it as a data science. Again, it is again a very vast topic. So today I'll discuss about machine learning. Okay, artificial intelligence. Machine learning is otherwise called as learning. So where we are trying to make machines learn by itself, so that it can able to predict the data, or it can predict some output based upon the input. Okay, we are going to train the machine by using some algorithms, so that the machine can finally predict the output data based on the input. Okay. So what is machine learning? It is a field of study that gives computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Okay. So we are making the computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. In simple term, machine learning means making prediction based on the data. So this is what I told you, right? The machine learning, once that machine is getting trained, when you give some input data, it has to predict some output. Okay, this is going to be the output. Okay, based on the input, it has to predict based upon the algorithm, whatever we have trained, and then finally it has to give the output. So these are the important concepts behind machine learning. How to train the machine. Okay, actually machine learning is we are going to train the machine, so that just like human being, it has to analyze and it has to make some predictions when you give some input data. So for training the machine, so these are the important components that are necessary. So the first thing is about training set. Okay, so training set, you call it as a data. Okay, so we have n number of data, and the collection of data, you call it as data set. Okay, so that is what given here as a training set. Again, you are classifying it into two types. One is unsupervised, the other one is supervised. Supervised in the sense, supervised data or supervised learning, you call it a supervised learning. So it is like just labeling of data. So, okay, so for example, you will collect lot of images of dogs, and you will say like this is dog 1, dog 2, dog 3, like that. Okay, so this is how you're going to feed the data into the machine, so that the machine can identify whether it is a dog or whether it is a cat. So that type of learning is called as a supervised. That is labeling of data and then providing the data to the machine. So you call it as a supervised data. And the other category is unsupervised. You're not going to label anything, but you're going to make it into clusters. Okay, some groups of similar objects. You call it as clusters, and you call it as unsupervised learning. Okay, so that is what the second type of learning, supervised and unsupervised. So again, the next important part is feature extraction. For example, if we want to identify a cat and a tiger, it is very easy. Okay, for a human being, it is very easy to identify which one is a cat or which one is a tiger. Why? Because we know what are the features of a tiger, and we know what are the features of a cat. But in order to make machines understand which one is a cat image or which one is a tiger image, it becomes a very difficult process. Okay, so that the important part of training the machine is a feature extraction. Okay, So you have to extract all the features from the data set, and then you have to feed it into the machine. Again, we can go for any machine learning algorithm. Okay, so once you have extracted all the features, we have to use the machine learning algorithm. Okay, and then using that algorithm, it will be executed. Finally, you will be getting the output data. So the output data, it may be a predictive model or it may be some grouping of objects. So grouping of objects, it belongs to the unsupervised category. And when it predicts something, yes, it is a cat, no, it is a tiger, like that, you call it as a predictive model. Okay, so this is a supervised thing, and this is an unsupervised model. Okay, just it is going to group, or you are going to make it into clusters. The machine is going to group it to first category or the second category, like that. So you call it as a unsupervised. Okay. So why machine learning is hard? For example, here you could see the images of pins. Okay, but according to a machine, it will not or it cannot understand like it is a human being or it is a babies, like that. Okay, so everything the machine sees will be just like numbers, like you call it as what, binary digits or zeros and ones. Okay, so this is what the difficulty behind a machine learning. So again, the next example is you could see some digits here. So here it is highlighted like what is a 2. Okay, so when we want to write 2, so different persons may write in different manner. Okay, so here we have all the possible notations for a 2, for the letter 2 or for the digit 2. Okay, so it is very hard for a machine to identify or to train in order to identify which is a 2. Okay, so only when you give more number of input, or only when you train the machine with more number of samples, it will predict the data correctly. Otherwise the prediction accuracy will be very less. Okay, so that only the machine learning concept is very very hard. You have to give more and more number of input samples to the machine. Only then it will able to produce more accurate results or more accurate prediction data. Okay, predicted output. Again, another example. So when we look at all the three images, as a human being, it is very easy to identify like all the three images are Apple images. But when you want to make a machine understand like all the three images are Apple, so you have to identify all the features. Okay, so the features that is necessary for each and every image. So look at the first image. For the first image, you are trying to what predict the feature of sorry, we are going to train the machine with a feature called color, and it should be red color. Again, it is a type of fruit. The shape of the fruit is oval. Okay, so all the three things we call it as features. So this is what I told you. In machine learning, the feature extraction is very very important. Only then you can train the machine properly. Okay, you can make the machine learn the concept properly. So this is what the features that are necessary to train the machine for the first image. Again, the features that are necessary for the second image are, you have to mention like the color may be white, the type may be a logo like Apple symbol. Okay, so the logo of Apple company. Again, it is a cut oval. Okay, so when you give this image, okay, when you give the second image, okay, when you give the second image to the machine, it should not say like it is a fruit, but it should say like it is a logo. It is a logo of a company. Okay, again the third, it is also a fruit. The only difference is it doesn't have any stalk. The first image, it contains a stalk with a leaf. The last image, it doesn't have a stalk. But even though it is a type of a fruit, again it is also it is a peach. Sorry, it is a peach. It is a peach fruit. So yeah, it is very difficult for us to train the machine like uh, which one is a peach or which one is an apple. Okay, so that is what the machine learning technology. So only when you give more and more input samples for a peach fruit, it will identify. Or otherwise, what it will do is it will say for this image, it will say like it is an apple. Okay, so that is what the difficulty. So the shape also different. The shape of the apple is oval, and here the shape of the peach is round. So again, one more example for a cat. What is the principle of machine learning and how does it identify when you feed a image of a cat? It has to say like, yes, it is a cat, or no, it is not a cat. Okay. So this is what the system, the machine learning system, like it is using a concept which is called as what feature extraction. Okay, the first part will be a feature extraction, and then according to the features, it has to identify or it has to compare with the already input samples available in the machine. Okay, so for example, this is a cat. We have already trained the machine with the help of the features like the cat should have fur, the cat should have whiskers, and the cat should have claws. Only all the any of these features are matched with the already existing image, it will say like, yes, it is a cat. Okay, if some of the features are missing, or if more number of features are missing in the image, input image, it will say like, no, this is not a cat. Okay, so that is what the main principle of machine learning. Only according to the feature extraction and the labeling of data, it will easily identify whether the input is a particular type of uh, whether the input belongs to a particular category or not. So let me give an example. See, let me give an example demo for a machine learning project. Okay, so you could also try this. So just type teachable machine. The URL is teachablemachine.with google.com. Okay, so here get started. So we can create n number of projects based on machine learning model, and we can train the machine. So now I'm choosing an image project. Okay, so I'm going to choose a image project, standard image model. So now I'm going to develop a project based on machine learning. Okay, so here you could see some two classes. It is an image related project. Here you could see two classes, class 1 and class 2. So either you could turn on your camera and you can load all the samples of class 1 as well as class 2. So now I'm going to upload. Okay, already I have some images in my local system, so I'm going to upload it. So here you could see images, uploading options. Either you could choose images from your files or your local system, or you could also import images from Google Drive. So now I'm going to import from local system. See, what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to develop a project, image project. I have two classes. So first class belongs to cat category. Okay, so I'm going to train the machine with some sample images of cat. And in class 2, I'm going to upload some images of tiger. Okay, so I'm going to divide it into two classes. The class 1 contains all the images of cat so that I can train the mission with cat images, and second class I'm going to upload all the images of some images of tiger. Okay, and the mission has to say, when I give some new input image, the mission has to say whether it is a cat or it is a tiger. So now class 2. So now I have uploaded two cat samples as well as two tiger samples. Okay, then the next part is training, like that is the algorithm part. So I'm going to train the model. So it when you click on the train model, it prepares the training data. So what is the training data? Class 1 and class 2. Class 1 contains cat images, class 2 contains tiger images. So it will take some time. Again, now it is ready. You can either export this project as a model. Now you can test this model. The input, again, as I told you, you can either give the input in the form of a web camera, or else you can load it from the file. So now I'm going to give the input to this mission. So already I've trained the mission with two classes, one for cat, the other one for tiger. Now I'm going to give some input. So input image, I'm going to load it as a file. So choose file, choose images. So now I'm going to give a new image. So don't give the same class samples. Okay, so you have to give the input other than the trained data. Okay, a new image, cat 5. So now look at the output here. So this is the input I've given. Okay, so it shows the output as class 1 100%. This is what the prediction accuracy of the machine learning model. Okay, so class 1 100%. Now I'm going to give another image, and it has to say like whether it is a cat or a tiger. So now this input image, it is a cat. So it identifies like this sample matches with the cat sample, that is class 1. So that only it says like class 1 is 100% and class 2 is 0%. Now let me give another image as input. So now look at the output. Now I've uploaded a tiger image as the input data. Okay, so now look at the output. Class 1, we have very few percentage, like 0.5 like that. And class 2 is 98%. So why it says like class 2 is 98% is it has more number of features that gets matched with the class 2. Why? Because already we have given two samples of tiger images, like, so it is more related to the same pattern as class 2. So it says like it belongs to class 2. The input data belongs to class 2 and the accuracy is 98%, and some 1 or 2% for class 1. Why? Because already we have trained the machine with the class 1, like cat also contains some whiskers, right? So some 1 or 2 features may be same for cat and tiger, so that only you have class 1% like this. Okay, so this is what the prediction accuracy of the machine learning model. So this is how we can train. So not only image project, you can also do voice project. But for voice, you have to give minimum of 20 samples. Okay, so what you can do is you can train class 1 with your voice and your friend voice class 2. Okay, you have to give minimum of 20 samples. And then when you speak into the microphone, okay, microphone, it has to identify whether it is your voice. Like class 1 is your voice, means it will say like it is your voice. Again, if your friend speaks into the microphone as input, it has to identify it is your friend's voice. Okay, so likewise you can train the machine. Okay, thank you.